Fellow fight fans, what up? It's your boy MMT and Let's Talk Fights. It's here, the UFC MMT Awards for 2024. 2024 is gone, 2025 is here, and in honor of the year being over, I want to give my awards out. The most important award show in all of MMA, the MMT Awards, yes. And I want to start with the most important award of them all. This is the closest the award has ever been and probably will ever be. We had a guy who defended his title 3 times in one calendar year. In an era where guys fight once a year to defend their title, we had a guy defend his title 3 times, step up short notice, and in all 3 of the fights, he finished them. And that's Alex Poatan. The guy did something this year that we've never seen done. 3 title defenses, 3 finishes, short notices. I mean, the guy is incredible, and he deserves all the praise in the world. And then we have a guy that knocked out not just 1, but 2 of the GOATs of the division. And this will never happen again, and I can guarantee that. We will never see in one calendar year a guy knock out the 2 GOATs, the 2 unanimous GOATs of a sport, and they're not even out of their prime. You could argue that they're on the decline, especially Alex, but Max is in his prime. He's coming off the most incredible knockout possibly ever. And that's Ilia Topuria, the Matador. The guy did the impossible. He knocked out Volkanovski, the guy who never lost at featherweight. He knocked him out. And then later in the year, he knocks out a guy that's never even been knocked down. He knocked out Max Holloway, the guy with the iron chin, the best chin in possibly the history of the sport. And it's a very close decision, but I think based off of the fact that we will never see that accomplishment again, I have to give the MMT Award for Fighter of the Year to Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria did the impossible. He knocked out 2 GOATs in 1 year. And I'm excited to see what he does this year. I'm excited to see him move up in weight and challenge Islam Makhachev as long as Islam defeats Arman Tsarukyan. And it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a close fight. And I think Ilia can definitely win that fight. And Islam is the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. So I'm excited to see how that fight plays out. But yeah, I have to give it to Ilia. Alex did something so incredible, and that's why this award will never be this close again. We'll never see 2 fighters that deserve it so much. And depending on which MMA source you look at, this source gives it to Alex. This source gives it to Ilia. But I have to give it to Ilia. Let's talk about Knockout of the Year. Another very important award. Knockout of the Year, there's been some great ones this year. Alex had several great ones, specifically his knockout, his switch kick over Yuri Prochazka, and then his left hook, his famous left hook over Jamal Hill. Both of those are incredible. And we had a newcomer, Shi Ming. She earned her spot in the UFC by sending her opponent out on a stretcher, which was absolutely terrifying and absolutely incredible. The girl's a doctor, and the nickname Dr. Sleep, coined by, I think, Michael Bisping, which is incredible because Michael Bisping usually doesn't add much with commentary. Love you, Bisping, but it's the truth. But the fact that she's a doctor and she had that head kick knockout and it was so violent, it's just pure cinema. It's popcorn. There were some great knockouts. That double back fist by Shara Bullet Magomedov, that was incredible. We'll never see a knockout like that again over a really solid fighter in Petrosian. But the winner of the award has to go to Blessed. The best is Blessed, Max Holloway. His knockout at UFC 300 over Justin Gaethje. Just the entire circumstances of it. The fact that Max was winning the fight for sure. Probably up 4 rounds, probably was going to win that 5th round as well. You can make the argument maybe Justin won one of the rounds, but he was going to win the fight by decision. And where most fighters would cruise to that decision, Max stepped in the middle of the octagon, pointed down, and said, let's do this thing. And that's why we love Max so much. It's why he's a fan favorite. And in the last second of the fight, Justin Gaethje, the guy who, besides for Max, has an iron chin. We've never seen the guy knocked out, especially knocked out cold. He gets sent face first into the canvas. And it was the most epic knockout I've ever seen. I've been watching the UFC for almost 20 years, and it's the best knockout I've ever seen. Just the circumstances around it. It was UFC 300, the largest pay per view event of all time. It was for the BMF belt, the baddest motherfucker, and Max really lived up to it. And just to circle back to Ilya, the fact that Ilya pointed to the octagon and said, "Let's do this thing," and Max didn't want to entertain that. It's just a testament to how incredible Ilya is. Max recognized that he's going to lose that exchange most times, and just a testament to Ilya and how credible he is with the striking, but also all around. But back to Max, not only the best knockout, probably of all time, but for sure the best knockout of the year. Then we go to submission of the year. There were some great submissions, but the one that stands out the most is for sure Khamzat Chimaev's finish over Robert Whitaker. Now, Robert had that precondition where he already had a cracked mandible. It was kind of the perfect storm for that to happen. Khamzat cranked at the perfect spot and just caved in his teeth. But the fact he did it to Robert Whitaker, the fact he did it so fast in the first round, it's just the best submission of the year for sure. And the fight of the year, there were some great fights for sure. Khalil Roundtree gave Alex his toughest fight. Besides for Blachowicz, that fight was really close. And of course, he lost to Izzy. But Khalil Roundtree gave him a war, won one or two of those rounds. There were some great fights, but the fight that stands out the most is at UFC 306 at the Sphere. We had Ribovics versus Zellhuber. That fight was an absolute war, back and forth. That's what fight of the year should be, back and forth. Moment of success here, moment of success there. Both fighters back and forth, back and forth. And that fight is the perfect fight to show someone who wants to get into UFC. This is why you should watch UFC, because of fights like this. That fight is incredible. So shout out to Zellhuber and Ribovics. That fight was awesome. And those are the main 4 awards that I want to talk about and give out. And I'm excited for 2025. I'm going to post a video talking about my most anticipated matchups for 2025, so stay tuned. I am aiming to become the best in the business at talking about UFC, MMA in general, but specifically UFC. And with your help, with your subscription, with your likes, with your comments, I can definitely achieve that. 2025 is going to be huge, and I appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your awards are. You know, I'm a little biased, but I think I have the best awards in the business. But, you know, let me know what you think, and stay tuned. That's all I got for you guys. MMT out.